Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about Mai Tais for the Lost by Mia Moss. Mai Tais for the Lost is a slim little novella. It's a cyberpunk noir set about 100 years in the future, where those who can afford it have taken to the seas, living in underwater habitats, safe from the ravages of the burning surface world above. And it's here that we meet our main character, Marrow Nightingale, the only private eye in town, and she's got a new case. Her brother is dead. So as you can imagine, there's a lot going on here that I love. I had so much fun with this novella. It's perfect for the summer. It's got tropical cocktails and a clever little murder mystery, and it gets that tone just like that right from the very first page. Like, all right, I'm here, I'm in a noir, and I've got a gumshoe detective, and that is excellent. Just such a lock on tone and the conventions of the genre, and so much fun. I would read half a dozen novellas or novels with Marrow Nightingale as the detective. Just a really great time. And, of course, with a name like Mai Tais for the Lost, we had to make a cocktail inspired by the book. And so, without any further ado, why don't we turn to today's drink? Our drink today is called the Blue Moon, named after the underwater hab where our action is set, and it is, as you might imagine, a riff on the classic Mai Tai cocktail. So, we're going to start with our rums. I'm going to do a white rum. It's always using that house rum here, cruising. And we're going to get a full ounce of the white rum in there. Whoop. There we go. Next, we're going to get half an ounce of that overproof, hurricane-proof rum. In the world of Mai Tais for the Lost, we'd call this a surface-proof rum. That extra punch of ABVs in there to give it a little extra kick, a little extra flavor, a little extra intensity. We're going to get half an ounce of that hurricane or surface-proof rum. Excellent. Now, get our lime juice to brighten things up. Very classic Mai Tai ingredients so far. Get an ounce of the lime juice, light, bright, balancing our rums. And here's where we're going to start to make a change. So you'll notice we don't have our orgeat with us. Not going to be using orgeat today, that almond syrup that's in a classic Mai Tai. For our sweeteners instead, doing something specific to the world of Mai Tais for the Lost and to the Blue Moon hab. Our main character, Marrow, likes to drink seaweed gin, and so we have made seaweed syrup. Really easy to do. What I did to make this, I made a standard simple syrup, equal parts sugar and water, and then I took some nori seaweed paper. So the same way that you would get this seaweed paper or seaweed sheets to wrap sushi, I took 3/4 of a sheet for 3/4 of a cup of sugar and 3/4 of a cup of water. You could do a full sheet in a cup and a cup. And let that soak for about 3 hours just to have the simple syrup absorb that flavor. And it does take on that sort of umami, fishy, under the sea quality very quickly. And it's a very fun syrup. I'm looking forward to playing with it some more. I'm going to use it, I think, in some martinis, appropriate for the seaweed gin in the novel, or in the novella, excuse me. We're going to get a half ounce of that seaweed syrup in there. Gonna bring some sort of savory umami, something sort of green and vegetal as well, and of course sweetness. And then to bring just a touch more tropical, exciting, fun flavors, got that cream of coconut, and we're gonna get 1/4 ounce of that in there. It's gonna bring a little bit of nuttiness and just a nice sort of tropical quality to our Blue Moon. Next, got our crushed ice. Gonna get about a scoopful or so and sort of eyeball it on that. There we go. Looking good. As always, once you have it in your glass, you can add more. And shake it up, wake it up. There we go. Don't have to shake as long when you're doing these crushed ice drinks because it dilutes quicker than when you've got cubed ice. And a little bit harder to open on these humid, hot summer days, but all the more satisfying for it, I feel. And then, in classic tropical fashion, we're just going to dump that on in there. Excellent. So now we've got this delicious crushed ice. We've got our cool, refreshing cocktail, but, as I'm sure you're asking, it's not blue yet, and isn't this supposed to be a blue moon? Don't worry, we've got a friend. So, the classic Mai Tai gets curacao in the build, and then typically gets a float of dark rum on top. Here, we've got our second rum in the body of the cocktail, and we're going to take our blue curacao, and we're going to use that to do the float on top. So we'll get 1/2 ounce of that blue curacao, and then we'll just sort of pour that right over the top so that, as you can see, it's sort of blending in with the cocktail, staying sort of separate, sort of like the tentacles of our octopus there on the cover. And it's going to bring that bit of sort of orange sweetness, orange citrus peel, and really help to complete our cocktail, not only in terms of the look, but in terms of the flavor as well. And of course, you've got a little bit of space there at the top. If you wanted to add a little more crushed ice, you would certainly feel free to do that as well. So there you have it. This is the Blue Moon, a tropical cocktail inspired by Mai Tais for the Lost. Highly recommend Mai Tais for the Lost. It was a lot of fun, and of course, as a novella, is a good afternoon's read. If you're hanging out by the pool or out on the porch in these hot summer days, do that with a blue moon in hand and a good read. Got a link to snag the book down below. And as well, we've got links to the Boston Shaker, where we get all of our tools and ingredients, to Twitter and Instagram, where we always have a written version of today's recipe. We'll also have the recipe for that seaweed syrup in the description below. Please like, share, subscribe. This is a book from a small press, so getting the word out really makes a difference. It's a book that I think deserves a wide audience, and one that I had, as I've said several times now, a lot of fun with. So, there you go. Read the book, try the drink, let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and until next time, cheers.